Hello, Erica here, and I'm here today with a video. Yep, that's what I'm here to do today. I'm here to do a video today about how I rate books. A lot of booktubers do these videos, and I think they're kind of important if people are going to, listen to my star ratings and either take them as recommendations or dismissals. So it is probably important for you all to know what it means when I rate a book certain things and just how I feel about rating books in general. So we're going to talk about that today. So I'm just going through kind of your basic star ratings on a 1 to 5 star rating system. If I rate a book 1 star, it was absolutely terrible and I hated it. Generally, you won't see a lot of 1 star reviews from me because I'm also a DNFer, which means that if I really hate a book, I just won't finish it. I usually give a book to like between page 50 and 100, and if I'm still like really not feeling it and really don't like it, I will just not finish it. So there's no point in me giving it 1 star. But generally 1 star rating means I had serious issues, either thematically with character portrayal. I felt that the book was highly problematic, that the writing was sloppy or the plot was convoluted, stuff like that. So there's that, but again, you'll hardly see that from me. A 2-star book for me was not a terrible book, but it's not something I would necessarily recommend. More likely, it's a book that I would recommend to like very specific people with very specific tastes. Usually, I generally didn't enjoy reading a 2-star book or get very much satisfaction out of it, but there was something that kept me going. Either it had interesting themes or interesting characters, but had a lot of shortcomings in other areas and also just did not engage me. Most of my reviews are 3-star reviews. That's the most common rating that I give to books. A 3-star review for me is not bad. I know that some people think that a 3-star review is bad. It's not at all. A 3-star review means that I liked the book. It fell in the middle of my reading spectrum. I liked it. I would recommend it to most people. Generally, I had some small issues with it or, didn't connect with it on the same level that I might for a 4 or 5-star book. But I enjoyed the reading experience. I don't regret reading it, and it's possible that I would reread it in the future. So that's how I feel about a 3-star book. A 4-star book I would recommend to almost anyone. A 4-star book means I really, really enjoyed reading it. I really liked it. I found the whole experience to be excellent. There might be a few little things, kind of nitpicky things here and there that are holding me back from calling it, a favorite book or giving it a 5-star rating, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. And a lot of my reviews, too, kind of fall into the 4-star category. A 5-star book for me is an instant favorite. It's something that I had usually an extreme emotional reaction to. A lot of times 5-star reads for me can be just based on kind of how it makes me feel emotionally or the kind of the personal connection I get out of it. But I would recommend a 5-star book to anyone. They are books that I will reread over and over again and that keep me thinking for a really long time. I don't give a ton of 5-star reviews. I probably have given more 5-star reviews so far in 2016 than I gave it all in 2015, only because I just reread 6 out of 7 of the Harry Potter books, so they all got 5 stars again. But I don't give a ton. That's kind of reserved, just like a 1-star review is, for things that are really, really stupendous. So that's kind of how I feel about the star rating system. Some basic things about what happens when it comes to me, sitting down and giving a star rating to a book. First of all, I don't put a lot of stock in star ratings. I'm luckily one of those people who can look at Goodreads, and if a book has kind of an average or below average star rating, it doesn't put me off with that book. That doesn't necessarily mean anything to me. There are books that I love personally that Goodreads as a whole seems not to love, and vice versa. But I will say, I do find it harder to give shorter books higher ratings, and I find it more difficult to spend hours upon hours reading a 900-page book and then give it a lower star rating. So there's kind of a trend there for me where graphic novels and things of that nature, I do give they have a lower star rating on average for me than novels do, and that's just because I feel like there's not enough time to be immersed in the world, even if I really, really enjoyed it. It's, graphic novels and kind of novellas and shorter fiction, they don't tend to stick with me for as long. And if they do, if I give 5 stars to a graphic novel, like, that is a must read. Same thing for a novella or something like that. But usually they're just kind of like blips in my reading experience, and I might look back on them fondly, but I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's just an issue I have. It's probably not a good thing. And the same thing happens when I read, you know, really long books. If I'm reading a book generally over like 600 pages and I'm taking the time to read that book, if I get done with it and don't feel like giving it at least 3 or 4 stars, that's rare. And it's just, I think it's just because I was immersed in that experience for so much longer. And so it's going to stay with me for a lot longer, if that makes sense. I'm also not the kind of person that goes back and changes my star ratings later on very frequently. I might in my head, but I won't change kind of my initial reaction to the book on Goodreads or whatever. So, you know, I feel like it's important to kind of remember how I felt about it initially and whether over time I come to grow and love it more, or it, you know, doesn't stick with me as long as I feel like it should have. I still like to have a record of kind of how I felt about it initially. Some booktubers in the past have talked about rating books that you may have loved the writing in but hated the content, or vice versa. And, you know, what comes to mind is originally Holly from Library at the Edge of the World. When she read Lolita, of course Nabokov's writing is incredible and she loved that, but the story is very uncomfortable, so she ended up giving it a low rating in the end because that's what she judged to do best. And I feel like that's really a personal choice, and there are definitely going to be books like that that are really polarizing between their content and their style. And I tend to edge more on the side of sticking with how I feel about a book stylistically and thematically than I do about the content personally. But that's not the case every time. Other than that, I don't have much to say. If you guys have any questions, let me know down below in the comments. And if you want to share with me how you typically rate your books or how you feel about star ratings in general or whatnot, do let me know. And I will see you next time. Bye!